This is part 2 of the institutional corruption that I've witnessed not only as a citizen, but as a civil rights attorney in the Deep South. After finding out that there was no investigation done into my case, my false arrest, and witnessing the suicide while I was in jail, I ended up settling my case for $300,000. I wanted to go to trial and expose what actually took place. However, things come into consideration with you and your attorneys, and I took the money. I used it to open up a criminal defense and civil rights law firm in Myrtle Beach. What I didn't realize was that I was actually moving to an area of the state that was almost equally, if not more, corrupt, and that SLED had their tentacles all in the area as well. During this time period, during my case, several things took place that made me feel completely jaded in the justice system. Not only did I release a surveillance video with my lawsuit that showed that I didn't grab an officer, I didn't get in an officer's face, I did everything right that you're supposed to do as a citizen. I was actually trying to tell the officers that they were making a mistake arresting a prosecutor. That's who they were arresting, a prosecutor. They didn't believe that either one of us were lawyers, and so they turned up the heat, and when we got to the jail, they didn't turn our paperwork in on time to teach us a lesson, and in South Carolina, they can hold you for up to 72 hours without a bond hearing. During this process, I was in a 6x6 foot cell with 8 other people, and one by one, they all got out for their bond hearing at 8 a.m. Then all of a sudden, 9, 10, 11 a.m. comes, and they bring me and a couple other people that were in that cell that were in there for some serious stuff, our jumpsuits. And I'm going, what's going on here? What am I even in here for? All I did was ask a question. Now I'm getting shifted to general population. So we put on our jumpsuits, and I'll never forget, as we're walking down towards the holding area of 80 individuals who are waiting to be shipped off to actual prison, the guard looks down at me and says, "Don't let them see you scared in here. This is the real deal." And all of a sudden, all of this trauma that I had experienced growing up, witnessing my father be arrested for domestic violence, witnessing my mother as an alcoholic, rose up into me, and I was already in a heightened state of awareness. And I had no idea when I was getting out or what I was in there for. I was in serious, serious trouble mentally. I'm in a jail cell. Right outside of my door is a dead guy that they cut down. They left him there on the floor because it was a crime scene for hours. So that means I was in a cell, looking out the door, witnessing somebody who just took their lives, witnessing all of the riot gear, police officers coming in, witnessing all this other stuff, and I had no idea when I was going to leave. And then a judge came down in the middle of the night after she heard what happened and bonded me and about 7 other people out that these cops did the same thing to. They didn't turn any of these people's paperwork in on time. I go to the court that next week, and guess what happens? The officers start talking to my attorney. They point at me across the room, and they start doing these motions, and I'm going, what are they saying? My attorney comes back over and says, they're accusing you of grabbing the officer, and they want to up your charges from interfering to an arrest to assault. And the first offer is going to be 6 months in jail. And it was shortly after that I realized they would do whatever it takes to protect them from liability. So I ended up finding a hidden surveillance video of near where I got arrested. It was in a restaurant surveillance video. I released it with the lawsuit that I filed for false arrest and false imprisonment, and me resulting in PTSD. And I thought this video, once they saw it, they would drop everything. And they were pissed that there was evidence against them. It was almost like they were even more upset that I was not only truly innocent, but trying to prove it myself. So for 4 years, they never dropped my charges, even in the face of the video, interfering with an arrest. All they did was threaten, in their words, to put you back in the same cell that you were in when you witnessed this. They went after me, they went after my family, they went after my friends, to the point where I had to quit my job as an attorney in Columbia and move to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, where I thought there would be less corruption and more accountability. So after I settled my case for the $300,000, I was in bad shape. And I thought the only way to get back a little bit of me that had broken into so many pieces is like he did in Count of Monte Cristo, where he says, vengeance is justice. And so I tried to take out justice every single time that I got a case with corruption and lies in it, which is 99.9%. Criminal defense attorneys, if they're speaking honestly, will tell you there's always a lie in these cases around the South. And I thought that I would heal by calling them out and by making them admit to the lies that they were doing to other people, and it had the reverse effect on me. All I was doing was exposing all this stuff and winning all these cases, but it was making me realize how dangerous it is to be a truth teller in the South. And so after I settled my case for $300,000, and after I was a criminal defense and civil rights attorney for several years, and I had all these high profile cases and all these big wins that we're going to talk about, I attempted suicide 3 months after I got married. For the last 5 years, I've been trying to get back, not to normalcy so that I could get back in the courtroom, but I've been trying to get back to a point where I could actually feel comfortable and confident in telling the truth when other people are lying. So with your help and your support, viewing and sharing these videos, I'm going to tell you about the last 10 years of my life. I'm going to tell you about how I was involved in the Julian Benton case, where we settled that for the largest civil rights single plaintiff settlement in the history of South Carolina, my case. I'm going to tell you about how I was involved in the Alec Murdaugh case, where I represented cousin Eddie Curtis Smith, the little guy accused of, that Alex Murdaugh pointed at, and SLED said, oh, it's this guy. Wait till you hear about the stuff I got to tell you about SLED and the Murdaugh murder case. And then there's several other high profile cases I was involved in. Sometimes I even represented police officers that were being made scapegoats by higher police officers. I really want to be somebody who is strong enough to expose the corruption that they've seen firsthand. And I want to be somebody that when the story's all said and done, that I can sit there and say, what a comeback. And that's what we're on now, the comeback. Thank you.